Hello everybody, welcome to the video on AML interview questions and answers from Career Ride. Anti-money laundering professionals play a significant role in safeguarding the financial system from being used for illegal activities such as fraud and terrorism financing. They also help in maintaining the integrity and stability of the system. The potential employers for these professionals can be places such as banks, credit unions, investment and insurance firms, regulatory bodies, government agencies, consulting and law firms, fintech companies, cryptocurrency exchanges, money transfer services, MNCs, NGOs, etc. Some of the common positions where these professionals work include AML analyst, AML compliance officer, AML manager, financial crime investigator, KYC analyst, risk manager, forensic accountant, etc. If you also want to make a career in the field of anti-money laundering, today's video is specially for you. In this video, we'll discuss 11 basic questions that are usually asked during the interviews for AML positions. Whether you're a fresh graduate or an experienced professional, this video is going to be extremely useful to you. So if you're really serious about cracking your next AML interview, make sure you watch the complete video without skipping any parts of it. Ready? Fantastic. Let's start. Question number 1. What is money laundering? So if you see it in literal sense, the word laundering means to wash something and make it ready for use. Now, what do you wash? You wash dirty things. So when you wash your dirty money and make it ready to enter the system as clean, legitimate money, it is called as money laundering. So you can see money laundering is an illegal activity where you try to make the money earned through criminal activities appear as legitimate money. These illegal activities could be drug trafficking, funds from terrorist activities, arms smuggling, human trafficking, etc. Financial institutions employ anti-money laundering policies to detect and prevent this activity. Now, the follow-up question that arises from here is, what are the different steps involved in money laundering? So see, typically there are 3 steps involved in money laundering activities. The first one is placement, where the dirty money is injected into the legitimate financial system. The second one is layering. Here, a series of transactions are conducted and various bookkeeping tricks are applied to hide the true source of money. And finally, integration, where the laundered money is finally disbursed from a legitimate account, looking absolutely clean. Some of these steps may be combined and repeated a few times before the money is fully laundered. Now see, your answer to such basic questions tell the interviewers about your understanding of how the whole process of money laundering works. Somebody who has good foundational understanding has more chances of spotting such activities quickly. And that is what the interviewers are interested in. Okay, let's move on to question number 3 now. What are some common methods used for money laundering? Now see, this is again a very basic question, and your answer to this question also tells your understanding of how the system works. So different types of transactions that are used for money laundering are: number 1, gambling, where casino transactions are used to launder the money. The second one is investing in precious metals and stones that can be easily taken to other locations. The third one is smurfing, where a large sum of illegally obtained cash is divided into multiple small amounts and deposited in many different accounts. The fourth one is shell companies. Many launderers establish inactive companies or corporations specially for this purpose of money laundering. Such companies exist only on paper. They don't have any other contribution in the system. The next one is buying real estate and other precious assets. All of us know this. The next one is cash smuggling, where mules or cash smugglers take the money across borders and deposit it into their foreign accounts. And lastly, bank complicity, where corrupt bank and financial institutions are involved in money laundering. Now, you see yourself, somebody who has this much understanding of the system is definitely a good choice for the interviewers to hire. And during the interviews, they are actually looking out for such candidates. That is why I always say in all my videos, it is very, very important to display your basic knowledge, your foundational knowledge of any topic during the interviews. Moving on to question number 4. What is trade-based money laundering? Now see, TBML or trade-based money laundering is a method where the trade transactions are manipulated to make them appear legitimate. For example, they may over-invoice or under-invoice the goods, misclassify the goods to avoid customs duties, and even use false shipping documents also. Such activities make it difficult for the law enforcement agencies to trace the origin of the funds, while the proceeds from illegal activities are able to make a way into the legitimate financial system. Okay, now our question number 5 is very, very important because it is about something that every AML professional must be aware of if they want to work in this industry. And the question is, what do you know about FATF? Now, FATF, that stands for Financial Action Task Force, was established in the year 1989 by the G7 with a purpose to examine and develop measures to combat money laundering. It originally included the G7 countries, the European Commission, and 8 other countries. FATF continuously monitors how criminals and terrorists raise, use, and move funds. It leads global action to tackle money laundering, terrorist, and proliferation financing. So, any professional who is working in the field of AML has to be aware of FATF. Make sure that you are also prepared to answer this question. Question number 6. What is UCIC? So, UCIC stands for Unique Customer Identification Code. It is a unique identifying code assigned to each customer by the financial institutions in India to ensure that all accounts and transactions associated with that customer can be accurately tracked and monitored. UCIC helps in streamlining KYC efforts and effective implementation of AML and CFT activities also. Okay, now in our question number 7, we are going to talk about a law related to money laundering. And this is again a very, very important question. Pay attention. The question is, which law in India controls money laundering? To answer this question, you can say PMLA 2002 or Prevention of Money Laundering Act is the primary law to prevent money laundering and deal with any laundered money issues in India. It provides to confiscate and seize the property obtained from laundered money. The Act also establishes obligations for banks, financial institutions, and other intermediaries to perform due diligence and report any suspicious transactions to FIU-IND, that is Financial Intelligence Unit, India. Okay, so you can see this is about a law that is related to money laundering, and that is why any professional working in this domain has to be aware of this. Okay, a very, very important question again. You must be prepared to answer it. Okay, now we just talked about FIU-IND. Your next question could be about this now. And the question is, what is FIU-IND? So, FIU-IND stands for Financial Intelligence Unit, India, as I just said in the previous question. It was established in the year 2004. FIU-IND is an independent body under the Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. It is responsible for receiving, processing, analyzing, and disseminating information related to suspected financial transactions to various enforcement agencies and foreign FIUs also, that is Financial Intelligence Units of other countries also. So you see, collecting CTRs, that is cash transaction reports, STRs, that is suspicious transaction reports, analyzing them, sharing actionable intelligence with foreign FIUs and other related bodies in India. All of these are FIU's responsibilities. Question number 9. What information is typically included in a suspicious activity report? What are the consequences if you fail to file a SAR? So, to begin with, a suspicious activity report is filed by the banks and financial institutions when they believe that a particular transaction involves illicit money flow. The report carries the details of the transaction, personal and contact details of both the parties, why the bank doubts this transaction, etc. If you fail to file a SIR, the bank and the responsible employee may both get into the trouble. legal penalties, damage to the reputation, loss of banking license, lawsuits against the bank and the employee may all be the outcome of not submitting SAR. Okay, now let's move on to a very interesting and important situational question. The question is, what would you do if a customer transaction looks suspicious to you as an AML executive? Now, to answer this question, you can say, as an AML executive, if a transaction or customer looks suspicious to me, I would immediately start scrutinizing them by conducting enhanced due diligence. While monitoring the activities happening in that account, I would quickly begin to refer the guidelines and procedures to raise a suspicious activity report also. Because time is the most crucial thing in such cases. Once I'm close to being sure that this could be a potential money laundering transaction, I would submit a SAR with all the relevant details and files for a quick action. The law enforcement agencies might need more details. I would fully cooperate with them while keeping an eye out for any more suspicious activities or transactions happening in that account. If need be, in consultation with the compliance officer, we might have to freeze the account even. It is very important to maintain confidentiality in such cases to avoid any hindrance in the investigation and also the fear of maligning the customer's reputation should the suspicion turn out to be a false positive. So you see, when interviewers hear such mature answers, they start gaining trust in you. But to be able to give such well thought of answers, you must think about them well in advance. Because this type of answers don't occur to anybody on the spot until and unless you have a lot of work experience. These type of answers require preparation. Okay, that is why I always say in all my videos, anticipate the questions and prepare your answers well in advance so that you are able to really impress the interviewers during your interview. Okay, let's move on to our last question, question number 11 now. And the question is, as a manager working in AML, what would be your advice to the new joinees working on AML KYC? So you see, when you work in the AML team of any organization, your biggest limitation is time. If the time passes, transaction will be completed and the crime will be done. So the most important things for an AML executive while working on any case are, number one, you must know when to stop your research and raise the issue. As we discussed, time is the most crucial thing here. The second one, be suspicious. Don't discount potential matches as false positives. You might commit a mistake, but be watchful. The third one is attach relevant documents when you raise an issue. Complete information makes it easier and quicker for the relevant agencies to act. The fourth one, if you have a feedback from the KYC or QA team, pay attention. Don't ignore it. Adherence to policies, procedures and guidelines is very important here when you work in such fields like AML and KYC. Non-adherence can become a big problem for you and your employer, both. So see, when you answer the questions with so much of maturity and thoughtfulness, you automatically start emerging as a good choice for that position. And the interviewers do take a note of that. Some days back, we released the videos on KYC interview questions and compliance interview questions also. Thumbnails are at the moment showing up on your screen and the links are available in the description box below. I'm very sure these videos will also be very useful to you. Do take a look. If you have found today's video useful, do give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends also. To stay updated with more such videos, subscribe the channel now. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.